Hi, and welcome to another episode of the TTown 411 Report and our community conversations. We're live here at McKinstry Banquet Hall, located at 5480 Jug Factory Road here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Give us a few minutes to go ahead and start sharing this to our group pages and our YouTube pages. We're also broadcasting live on Sound Booth Radio with my good friend Mike, who's back with us tonight. Mike, how you doing? And tell us how can they sound in on Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV.
Sure thing, Daryl. I'm doing great. Appreciate you asking. And sorry I missed y'all Tuesday, but I'm back with y'all tonight. So check us out on Sound Booth Radio. Just go to your iOS or your Google Play Store, download the Live 365 app. Once you download that app, then go to the search bar, type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1. That'll take you to the radio side of Sound Booth Radio. Check us out on the video side. You can go to my personal Facebook page, Michael K. Wilson, or Sound Booth Radio 106.1. Or you can go to YouTube, type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1, and you can check us out on Sound Booth TV.
Well, Mike, each and every week, of course, we continue to bring this program to our community here in Tuscaloosa and surrounding areas. And we always provide the COVID update from our very own Miss Veronica Taylor, who provides us with the COVID update. And since she's on board with us, Veronica, tell us the COVID update of what's going on at DCH.
Okay. Well, as of August 10th, Wednesday, which was yesterday, August 10th, 2022, DCH Health Systems internal counts as of 1:58 p.m. on August 10th. There are 22 inpatients, which that means they're down 2 from last week, which is good. Within the systems positive for COVID-19, 5 or fewer inpatients positive for COVID-19 are being treated in the ICU, and 5 or fewer positive for COVID-19 are being treated on the ventilator. As for monkeypox, Alabama has gone up by 3. They had 24 on Tuesday, and today they have 27. The areas around us, Florida has gone up to 1053, Georgia 824, Mississippi went up by 3 to 11, and Tennessee went up by 5 to 67. So be careful, be careful, be careful. Practice social distancing, definitely practice social distancing, and try to be mindful of not touching so much. And wear your mask.
And the sad thing about that, you said social distancing, Veronica, is the CDC just recommended that we don't do social distancing anymore. That was just recommended today. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like, for one thing, for COVID, not the social, you don't have to social distance anymore, but monkeypox says that you should social distance. So
yeah, before they make announcements, they need to get together to get it right, because if it's close to close skin contact, you can have, like they say, close face contact. People like to hug. Who knows how long? They really don't say how long. They'll say prolonged. Well, prolonged could be just a touch if that person has a weeping sore. So, so that's why I just say we have to sometimes just use our own common sense. And sometimes even when you go to some of these doctors in the area, they try to persuade, especially in the South, tell you not to, well, you don't have to wear a mask, you don't have to do this. No, now people touching you, like you almost want people to, because it's past from skin contact. So you never know what people have in their hands. You kind of really have to watch now. That's still one of the questions. How can you pass it when the symptoms aren't visible? So you go get checked, blood pressure check, whatever, somebody touches you. People don't use gloves to do that. They didn't even use gloves to do that. A lot of the time, some may have, but a lot of people didn't even use gloves to take your blood pressure during C-19 pandemic, or which is still, here. But if y'all just use your own judgment and your knowledge. Social distance, maybe you don't have to social distance as far as like where you stand, but even with monkeypox, if you're going to be in a small room for someone for an extended period of time, to me, that's 15 minutes or longer. They're suggesting that you wear a mask.
Yeah, I agree. I still wear my mask even right now when I go out. So
I think a lot of people still doing it. It's some.
And that's just based on a lot of the COVID numbers now, because it's fluctuating. Remember, it went like to 20 42 or something like that. And we was like, what? And then it went down. Then it went up to 46. It's now over the past 2 weeks, it's gone back 24 and 22. So the numbers, I think, in different areas are fluctuating, and they're telling people just wear it according to the area you're in. Well, if you travel outside another area and you don't really check, and most people aren't wearing masks, sometimes people just aren't wearing masks. If some people aren't checking their own area, let alone when they go to another area.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, let's do a quick prayer right quick for everyone that's joining in with us and try to pray away this pandemic that's going on around us. If you will, just bow your head for just a quick moment. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for everyone that's on here today, and thank you for protecting us and letting us see this day again. Heavenly Father, we continue to ask that you continue to bless all our doctors and nurses and all the essential workers at the hospitals and nursing homes. We're asking that you continue to protect our police and fire, all our public safety personnel. Heavenly Father, we're going to ask that you continue to look over our families, keep them safe, protect them against all harm, shape, form, and fashion. Heavenly Father, we're asking that you go to the hospital right now, and we're asking for a healing hand of those in need of a healing right now. Don't forget to go with the bereavement families, Heavenly Father, as those that are going through a loss of a loved one, whoever it may be, wherever they are. We're praying right now that you continue to bless those families and let them know that you're in charge and your will has been done. Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to look over all our pastors and teachers and all the people right now. We're asking that you continue to look over the people in Ukraine. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Yep. I want to say hello to all my people that's chiming in. Jesse Curtis has chimed in. Miss Linda Owens, she's chimed in. Betty Hopkins. My good friend Patricia Williams, she's made her way on the program with us. Tina Sanders, very first person to pop up. I want to say hello to her. Everybody that's chiming in, we just want to thank you. Tonight, we're going to let y'all talk about what you want to talk about. I mean, we talked about Tuesday, we talked about monkeypox. And I think it was just a learning type thing that we wanted to, pass on to the community, keep on making people aware of what's going on in our community. And that's what we talked about. And we don't want to scare people. I guess one friend of mine called me earlier, man, y'all making monkeypox seem like it's. I said, man, I'm taking it serious. I know it's not as deadly as COVID when it first came out, but we didn't know anything about COVID. But now we're more aware about COVID, and we just don't want to get um, surprised anymore with all these plagues and things that are coming through our countries these days. I mean, hey, monkeypox, no one never thought it'd be this close again. And Veronica said what the numbers is. She said we up to 27
The
now.
numbers, 27. Yeah, 27 in Alabama. And see, and that's the thing we were talking about the other night, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
People want to demean what's going on. Nobody wants to send anybody into a panic. But do you want to be in a panic situation when it's out of hand, or do you want to know about it and just know what you need to know so that you can protect yourself?
Exactly.
Like, you can't make it seem like anything no more than what it is.
But
so a lot of times people are. It's like sometimes I think people think something's going to affect the way they're living or their lifestyle, and then God forbid, when they find out that person, or whatever. Oh, for real? Then it's like the for reals. But before then, it's like y'all making, okay, did anybody, a lot of people were sounding an alarm about COVID when it first started, and people thought it wouldn't even come to the United States.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. When the alarms start ringing and the deaths start going up, I think if people start taking it more serious, then especially when you seen, what we saw in the past. I don't even want to really go into depth about it. And we right now, I'm just thankful that monkeypox is not as deadly. It's contagious, but it's not as deadly of what COVID brought to our communities. But like I said, I want them to do any questions, conversation. We talked about school, back to school. I'm glad to see our elementary and high schools are back in service, and the college coming up in the next week or two. So we're gonna take a quick break, very quick break, and then we'll be right back. If you got questions, if you got things, comments, we'll listen to you. Don't be afraid to call in. I mean, this is just open conversation. Just hey, your opinion is just as good as mine. We might not agree sometime, but regardless, please just call in. Feel free. Um, also, want to make everybody aware of our copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And I also just want to remind everybody the opinions expressed in this presentation are my personal opinions and must not be construed as representing the opinion of any institution with which I am or have been affiliated in my professional life. And that goes for Mike and that goes for Veronica also. So we're just going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back and just talk about what y'all want to talk about. Any announcements, NAACP, any announcement, what's going on, anything going on in the community. Let's talk tonight, and we'll keep that up to you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.
Hello? Hey, Rick. I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother? I went down to Thomas' Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie. And I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
We're back, y'all. We're back. We want to remind everybody about the upcoming event that's going to take place at McKinstry Banquet Hall on Saturday, this August the 13th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The Alabama Region Expansion Series featuring the Executive Director Sean T. Hill will be in town this coming weekend. Anybody interested in this event, contact Reginald Turner. Reginald Turner at 207-8856. Once again, 205-207-8856. That'll get you in contact with us here on the upcoming event that's going to take place then. Also, don't forget about the upcoming motorcycle ride that's going to take place on Sunday, August the 21st. Registration start at 10 a.m. and the bikes will go rolling at 11 a.m. and it's taking place at the TTown Harley Davidson 6401 Interstate Drive here in Cottondale, Alabama. And this is a Investigator Dornell Cousette Memorial Ride. Proceeds to fund the Fallen Officer Memorial at TPD headquarters. And if you have any questions, please call my good friend 205-292-4873. 205-292-4873. That'll get you in contact with someone relating to this upcoming memorial ride for Donnell Cousette. And it's a worthy cause. that they're doing this for. Also, don't forget about Friday Night Live this coming Friday night from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Haycourt Center. And it will take place. It's for ages 6 to 17. Lots of free food, free games, PlayStation tournament. There's a DJ and dancing. It's going to take place at the Haycourt Center this particular weekend. And don't forget about also Saturday, August the 13th at Paramore Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I see Mr. Joseph Eatman had chimed in with us. I asked him to call in and give us the info about what's going to come in, what's to happen. These last two events are Friday Night Live, and we're glad they did these particular events for the youth in our community. So hopefully he'll get a chance to call in with us and talk about that. Don't forget about September the 10th, Tina Sanders, No More Tears present Leroy Hall, which is a motivational speaker, street poet. She will be at McKinstry Hall on September the 10th. If you're interested in tickets are $30. Contact Tina Sanders at 716-816-6364. I think that'll get you in contact. Writing a little small, but that'll get you in contact with Miss Tina Sanders relating to that. And we'll have her on the program real soon relating to that particular event. Don't forget about August the 20th, Saturday, August the 20th, at the Apparatus School of Performing Art. My Black is Blue stage play is going to take place. My Black is Blue stage play is going to take place. And its tickets are still available for $15. Two different times the stage play will take place. One at 2 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. My Black is Blue, a locally owned, written, directed, and produced by our very own Shawana Moore. And that's coming up. We'll have her on with us one more time also. And talking about her stage plays. If you hadn't got your tickets, you might want to go ahead and get your tickets for that particular event. Don't forget about Aliceville Police Department is now hiring. They are hiring police officers in Aliceville, Alabama. And that number, if you want to make contact with someone, 205-373-2517, or go to www.cityofaliceville.com and put in your applications. Our good friend, Miss Alicia Jackson, is our licensed life insurance agent. And if you're looking for insurance or know someone that needs insurance, please give her a call at 205-886-1462. 205-886-1462. And she will give you some very, very good information relating to life insurance, retirement, annuities, anything you can think of. She will definitely get you in reference to that. Hey, don't forget about my good friend Al Robinson. He has the 18 Ultimate Solution Experience. Book your next detailing appointment with Al. He's offering a 25% off. He also offers carpet cleaning, 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms, 4 rooms, 5 rooms, anywhere between $150 to $600. Call 18 Ultimate Solution. My good friend Al Robson. He has a mobile car detailing and concrete cleaning, roadside assistance, window cleaning. Call for quotes 205-765-9203. Once again, that's my good friend Al Robinson, 205-765-9203. That'll get you in contact with my good friend Al Robinson with 18 Ultimate Solution. We'll have that flyer up on next week also. And he does a wonderful job. I let him clean my cars, and he does an excellent job. If you need a car fully detailed, I'm highly recommending that you check out my good friend Al Robinson. We will have his flyers up next week. And I got one more. I said, woo, I like people say, wow, how many announcements you got? I got one more. My good friend, Miss Barbara Knox, Hold on, let's see. Someone sent me one about Miss Knox. Candle. She's opened up her store. Let's see where we at. Mm, got one more.
The Red Sunshine in Durham.
Yeah.
I,
That's
I, I thought I sent you that. Did I send you that flyer? She sent it to me.
she. Paula sent it to me the other day. They're inviting you to a Ray Sunshine Candle Company grand opening, which is going to take place on September the 10th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's going to have local shops and vendors. There will be food, music, and door prizes. They're located at 39641 uh, Alabama Highway 69 in Moundville. And you can contact her 205-523-6246. And we will have that also. We'll have that flyer out for you also. Array Sunshine is coming. Well, it's open. It's already open. She just got a storefront, and we just want to say congratulations on a well done job of um, following her dream. She's following her dream. It's a big dream, and she's following it, sticking to it.
And I gotta say too, Daryl, if you have not gotten a candle from Red Sunshine,
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely a candle that you want to get. If I got to be honest, this past Christmas, that's what I was giving folks was candles from Red Sunshine. Um, I don't know if she's still doing it, but she would throw a little something extra in the bag every time she give you something. If it's a lighter or a candle warmer or anything to that aspect. And the candles, she has one that's called Fruit Loop that a lot of people seem to like, and you we never even lighted it up. Just having it open in the apartment, it smelled like you was eating a bowl of cereal. Wow. So
smell like Fruit Loops, huh?
yeah, it's very good. Like I don't know if you've ever smelt it or anything. If one of y'all smelled it,
I
but
did the Fruit Loops.
it's definitely worth your while.
Okay. I see what Tina Sanders say. Tickets are available, and you can cash out money sign Bama 1020 for tickets, or Zelle. You can do Zelle also. And let's see, get some other announcements coming in. Don't forget about the Bryan High School football team. Also, is doing a fundraiser also for their school, and they have quarter pages. This is for the program. They have quarter pages. They have banners, a whole bunch of different things for us. If you want to get an ad in the school program or get a banner for the football team. So all of that is available. Also, Central is also sent one also.
I was
Um,
going to ask you about Central because I know right now we got a lot of people that are already talking about Central's homecoming. Um, Last year, all the former classes of Central
mm-hmm,
got together for homecoming, and I know my class is already set out. They already got their location,
mm-hmm.
and they right now making decisions on the shirts that they want to get for class of '94. And I'm sure that you're gonna see some from class of '92 and '93 as well. It was a real big party out there last year, so we look forward to having something similar to that again this year.
Yeah, think it's gonna take place on
September
this.
23rd, I think it is. Was
Yes,
it 28th?
yeah, no, you're right. September the 23rd is the 23rd of September. Let's see the call number. Let's get Mr. Eatman in here. The call number is 205-310 6067 to get you in contact, or you can call 205-826-7661. So I need to edit that and get Mike number back in there with us. And it's, what is it, Mike 205?
310-6067.
6067 or 205 826 7661. Either one number get you in contact with us. Call my good friend. Call us in 310-6067. Get you straight in on the program there, Mr.
And
Mr.
we got
Eatman.
Mr. Ethan on the phone with us right now.
Okay, well go ahead, Mr. Eatman. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Great,
Doing
great,
great.
great.
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Hey, yeah, just a little bit about the event. Friday Night Live event. We'll be out in Haycourt tomorrow from 5 to 8. Have a lot of food, a lot of games. We'll have inflatable games. We'll have prizes. We'll have, limited school supplies, food. Just kind of just a safe space for the kids to come out and have a good time. Actually, the Saturday event is actually canceled, so we'll just be Friday in Haycourt, and then we'll kick back up at the end of September. We'll find another location to do one at the end of September. So we plan to carry these out and do at least one a month throughout the entire school year. We'll probably move it to Saturday once school start, of course, because of football season on Friday and everybody wants to go to the high school football games.
Right,
So
right.
we'll probably bump to Saturday now that school's in. But this will be our last one on Friday night here tomorrow night in Haycourt.
Okay. Well, sounds great. Tell us how's it been going. I mean, y'all been all over town. We've been announcing. I haven't had a chance to get out like I needed to. Been busy on Fridays, but how's it been going?
They're going really well, actually. The first one was at the McDonough Youth Center, and we had over 300 kids come out to the one at the McDonough Youth Center. And then we had the second one at the Belk Activity Center. We had about 120 kids at that one at the Belk Activity Center. So seems to be going really, really well. Kids been getting a lot of support from the community. People calling, wanting to be involved. So it's been going really, really well. Hopefully this one will be really, really big in Haycourt tomorrow. Just talking to the housing authority, they've got over 100 kids just in that one community, but it's for everybody. So we look forward to seeing everybody come out and have a good time tomorrow.
Mr. Eatman, we know this is a part of the Shelton State community partnership, along with a couple radio stations and Para. Uh, I think this has probably been one of the first things we've seen that the community has partnered up with, along with Shelton State, and I love the idea of them coming together and bringing something for the kids to do on Friday nights.
Yeah, this is just the beginning, Mr. McKenzie. We're gonna, I assumed the role of Dean of Community Relations with Shelton State. So we plan to be out and be active in the community, not just with kids. We're gonna roll out some events just for teenagers. We're going to roll out some events just for our senior citizens. We believe that we've got a place for everybody. So we're here to serve everybody. So this is just the beginning, but we will continue to do this for our kids because I think it's important and it's needed.
Yes, yes, yes. And let's tell people more about you. I mean, if people don't know Mr. Joseph Eatman, one of the most winners Shelton State Community College basketball coaches at one time, he's now coaching the community. That's what I'm going to call you, the coach of the community.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about you. Of course, you're a Central High School native, but go ahead and tell them a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, that's for those that don't know. I'm grew up right here in Tuscaloosa. Grew up right here in West Tuscaloosa. So spent most of my life here in Tuscaloosa before I went off to college. Of course, I'm a 2001 graduate of Central High School. I went on and went to school at Bevel State in Jasper. Went on and finished my bachelor's and master's degree at West Alabama and got into coaching. Coached basketball for about 15 years. Spent the last 10 at Shelton, 4 as an assistant, 6 as head coach. Had a lot of success as a head coach at Shelton. Won 5 championships in 6 years and won over 200 games as a head coach there in 6 years. So But I tell people, although I was a pretty good basketball coach, that was never really my end goal. My passion was always, helping people and doing things in the community. I get that from my mom. She was an educator for over 30 some years, and that was something she was always big on. Is helping the community and being there for the community. So that's kind of who I am, and that's what I enjoy doing. So although we won a lot of basketball games, had a lot of success, I really feel like now in this role, being out in the community, helping the community, I'm kind of really walking in my purpose. So,
Well, good. And this is your purpose now that you're serving through Shelton State is something I hope more the university and more from the Shelton Stillman College to partner up more to make these same kind of impact. This is a big impact. This Friday Night Live is been something I think people has wanted to do or implement, but never executed it. So this is something that I think you took the initiative, or you and Shelton and you and Para, whoever has taken something and moved forward with something that's been needed a long while here in Tuscaloosa. So that's a good thing, giving our youth something to do and our elderly something to do, and just people in general something to do. Someone said Shelton State and Para were awesome partners for the NAAC. Yes, Juneteenth celebration. Mr. Eaton was eager to jump in and help. Really great with promoting the community. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sure did. That was that was an awesome event also. So seeing that Shelton State is really jumped in and joined the community and being a part of so many different festivities. I seen during the baseball scene. I seen you all. I think y'all might have been a part of that also. So for the youth baseball, it just
I think we're uniquely, we're Shelton, and people don't realize this, but we're extremely unique there at Shelton because I think we really are in a place to serve the community and the community at whole. People don't realize this, but only probably about 200 students from the city of Tuscaloosa go to the University of Alabama.
mm-hmm.
Out of the 40 some thousand, and Shelton and our 4,000 students, we got 600 plus.
Right.
So I think that's something big. Being a community college is important because we're giving the opportunities to the people here in the city of Tuscaloosa.
I think the name itself speaks for itself. Community, and you're doing a great job of bringing education and other things to the community, and that's one of the things I think been missing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would like to second that. Also, the fact that y'all actually putting your money where your mouth is, putting on these events and going in with people who are trying to do things for the community is so big. Um, Especially with the Juneteenth, the Friday night live, um, and anything else that you might be coming up with. So it, it it's showing the youth and in the community as a whole that people that are out there looking at them. They care about. And I think that's the main thing. I think a lot of people, talk a lot, talk about the kids a lot, but when you actually provide hope, when you're actually giving them something to do and showing them you care, it's one thing to say you care, it's another thing to show you care. And I think we got to do more showing and less talking.
Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. And also, we want to thank Hugh Chandler. She's been a marquee player in helping with the Friday Night Live. Also, she's
Yes, she's been great. She has been. She's been right there every step of the way. When she actually came to me with the idea of Friday Night Live. We had kind of been debating bouncing back and forth on what we could do. We brought Pear in. Everybody else Spade, Ralph over at Spade, and Dre Day over at 105.1. everybody just kind of jumped on board, and we all got together and made it happen.
Well, that's a great thing, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, 300 kids and 120 kids. That speaks volumes of parents looking for something for their children to do over the summer. And now that you're going to continue this over the school year on some Saturdays, once a month per Saturday. So that's a great thing to continue and keeping it going. I know sometime years ago, Rosedale, when I was living in Rosedale a long time ago, Rosedale and Delaware used to do Friday night dances. And this is something kind of reminded me of that back in the late 70s, mid 70s, I guess you could say, 75, 76. Man, you take me back with these Friday Night Lives back in the day. Team dances, that's what it was. Every team dances, Mr.
Well,
Ford.
I can remember the Barnes YMCA having the Barnes YMCA having Safe Haven nights.
Yeah.
Where, when we stayed until midnight. A lot of times on Friday or Saturday nights, and even having sleepovers sometimes to kind of keep us out of trouble. So, I think bringing things like that back will really help with a lot of issues that we're dealing with in our community. And that's what we hope to get to.
Well, man, we appreciate what you're doing. Like I say, anytime you got something going, let us know. We will definitely try to get the word out and let people know about it. And like I said, I'm going to try my best to be over there tomorrow. Um, I think y'all start at 5. I might be able to get there about 6:30 just to drop in and, say hello and check on everybody.
All right, sounds good. Look forward to seeing you.
Okay, all right.
All right, thanks for the time.
All right,
thanks so much for calling in.
Once again, wants to inform everyone he did say Saturday has been canceled. So the Friday Night Live on Friday night is going to take place at the Haycourt Center here in Tuscaloosa, and it's from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then they're going to reschedule this Saturday event on August the 13th. So good thing they're doing. Appreciate everybody that's chiming in. Any other announcements, anything going on, feel free to give us a call, 205-826-7661 or 310-6067. That'll get you in contact with us here on the program, Our Community Conversation. Shelton State Community College. I like that, man. That's putting your money where your mouth is, Mike.
That's right.
And
absolutely.
And here's let me say this before that caller get on. Here's one thing I want to say also, Mike. You notice that Joe Eatman is a product of our community of the city of Tuscaloosa. The same, and by him being a product, the community is responding to the efforts in accepting the ideas that they're putting, along with Para. I think now that the partnership within the community is coming more and more out that, hey, they want to be more involved. This is one way of cutting down on youth violence. This is just one way. So just think all the little small things that we do will cut down on the youth violence, of gun violence or whatever you want to call it. This is just a great effort of bringing our youth and our community together in a safe environment. And that's what we want to expand on also.
I think that's correct there, and I also think it all took just the first person getting the ball started.
Mm-hmm.
We did a few. Well, there was a few different things that went on at the beginning of the summer. They try to unify the community as a whole, and little by little, we started coming out to it. And also, one of the big things was they come out to it, and there was no incidents.
Yes,
And that speaks volumes. So you can continue to do things. They can't say anything to you about incidents.
that's correct.
So
I want to go ahead and applaud Shelton State. Stillman College on yesterday. On yesterday, even though it started raining, I think they continue today. They were giving out free hand sanitizer. Free. I don't know if a lot of people knew about it. I seen it came across the screen, and Miss Barbara Bates called me and advised me. But when I was about to announce it, the bottom fell out. It rained really well today and yesterday over at
mhm.
here on West Tuscaloosa. They got plenty of good rain. But yes, they were giving away truckloads of hand sanitizer. And I'm not sure if they gave all away yet or not. But seeing the community connecting with our local colleges for Shelton State and Stillman and the University of Alabama, I think this is a good thing. I think this is more of what the community has been asking for, more of a unison of helping with the violence. I think the more the community see the schools involved, the university involved, community colleges involved, that helps expand the kids' mind to think more of positive things rather than the negative things. Man, 300 kids.
Absolutely. And
Three.
let's not forget about the Boys and Girls Club on the west side at the Stillman Heights building
Yes,
with the
yes.
START program. So all that is an attempt to bring more, just bring more to the youth on the west side of Tuscaloosa.
One of
We have Lisa Young on the phone with us also.
okay. Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
All right. I just wanted to come on and let people know that we're gonna have November 8th, Tuesday, November 8th is our next election, primary election. The NAACP during our general body meeting will host Dr. Will Boyd and Miss Pamela Lafitte. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Both of those individuals are going to be on the ballot. And I want everybody to come out and get to know your candidates. Dr. Will Boyd is running for the Alabama U.S. Senate. Miss Pamela is actually running for Secretary of State. That's going to be the meeting will be virtually on Zoom. You can go to the NAACP Facebook page and to get the link. It's going to be the 22nd of this month at 6 o'clock. And both of those individuals will be there. Informing everybody about the platform, why they're running for office, and why you should vote for them.
Okay, and both of these are on the ballots as Democrats, Republicans, Independents. What?
Democratic candidates.
Okay,
These are going to be the Democratic candidates.
I think the Secretary of State position is going to be a very interesting race. We need, and I'm gonna give credit where credit
The
is.
approximation is the most important race.
I'm,
Look like right now.
I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. John Merrill did a wonderful job of communicating with the community through the website. I mean, in his office, I have called his office before, so that was a big improvement to previous years for us. The Secretary of State office, and getting the information out about voting rights and privileges and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So I'm gonna give credit due where it's done at. He did an excellent job while he was there, and hopefully the next candidate that we're talking to will make even greater improvements. and looking forward to hearing her talk. This is a young lady or man? You said Will.
Yes. Uh, Pamela Lafitte
Pamela.
is she's a lady, Democratic candidate for Secretary of State. Um, and I done got out of telling people who to vote for. I like for people to be informed voters.
Uh huh.
So that's the reason why we felt that we need to host them to give people the opportunity to come and see what their platform is.
Well, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. We want to thank
I
you.
think it is a great idea, Lala, because especially like for either governor race, I don't know if people still don't realize who the Democratic candidate for governor is right now. I think as far as the Democratic side goes in the state of Alabama, most folks are still competing in the dark
Well,
on everything.
I think all the governor commercials been cut off on the news. You don't see anything relating to any more commercials relating to KIV and any other.
It'll be back closer to November. I can
Closer to, exactly. Closer to November, they'll kick back up.
I don't think
And it's
so.
going to be a very interesting race for sure. But we don't want people just voting for individuals because you see them frequently
On
in
TV,
commercials.
right?
And people need to try to educate themselves on what exactly do these individuals do? What is the responsibility of the person that hold that office? Um, and when a lot of times people complain about some of the judges and some of the things that go on in the courtroom,
Mm-hmm.
they're all voted on. They're either elected or appointed by someone that is elected. You have an opportunity to remove them. But we got to be better at getting to the polls and making sure that our voices are heard through our vote.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that a lot of the candidates that are running, um, they kind of want you not to go to the polls because
Mhm.
the ones that go to the polls, they already know that they have their vote.
Mm-hmm.
They're counting on us. So thanks for saying that, Mike. A lot of people count on, they actually factor into, well, if you go look at trends, these people are not going to come out and vote anyway. So, you can change that narrative. Yeah, all you got to do is just show up to vote, educate yourself on the candidates, and you can also offer to take somebody to the polls with you. Take a person to the polls that might not have a ride.
Yeah.
So that they'll get an opportunity to vote as well. Um, it's sad that you have such a small number of citizens making, they're picking your representatives that's going to represent you. We need to, if you go back to our history, you had people that died for the right to vote. Voting is important. They understood the importance of voting. It's our responsibility to continue um, to make sure that we exercise that right to vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I want everybody, I'm going to make sure that the information continue to get out. We're going to try to host as many candidates as possible. We're going to try to put together in person meet and greet with some of these candidates so you can actually come and talk to them face to face and get to know your candidates.
Well, we appreciate all you and the NAACP is doing to educate our community as well, bringing forth great information about voters' education and not just unfairness and unjust situation, but you're encouraging people to come out and vote for the right candidate, not the popularity, not the most common on television, you're not really necessarily saying vote for a particular party. You're actually people to educate themselves to vote for the best candidate for the next 4 years.
And let me say this. So, the NAACP is nonpartisan, right? We don't, but, and we had a discussion about this amongst the presidents of the various chapters and branches across the state. So, what we decided to do, to make sure that we were providing the most sought out information was to pick candidates to highlight that was representative of the majority of our membership. So the majority of our membership right now happens to be Democratic. So, before anybody call and say, hey, how come you don't have any Republican candidates on here? We're more than happy to host the Republican candidates. I have reached out to some, they do not respond back. Uh, Same thing during our municipal election, which is nonpartisan, but you know that some are Republican, some are Democrat. People, some didn't even bother. They said, no, we don't care to be in your forum because, basically, um, you're not representative of the Democrat of the can of our constituency.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's fine. I know hard feelings. I respect that. So, we are nonpartisan. I want to make sure that that is put out there.
Well, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, we have talked about this before. And when it comes down to the elections, how difficult it is for people to get to the elections. Uh, I still am under the belief that our election, the election day, be it city, state, or even federal elections, should be like a holiday, uh, where you get either the half a day off or the whole day off to be able to go. Majority of these jobs tell you to go on your lunch break, and most of these jobs around here get 30 to 45 minutes for a lunch break. If you work in one of the plants, you can't make it back to your polling place in the
Well,
time it takes to for your lunch.
Mike, I got a solution to that. Take a voter's machine to the plant to allow the people to vote.
Mm, mm.
That'd be one heck of an idea, Daryl. There's a lot of plants. Um,
Okay,
Question is,
but but
would they want to do that though?
here's the question, and that's the question you're asking. But here's the thing: you got 600 people that's
Mhm.
at a plant that can't leave. Well, really don't have time to leave 30 minutes away to go vote for their respectful areas. So if we got, I see when I go vote, I've seen some areas it is so slow that they have five people there just there, because it ain't no traffic going on. But just imagine if we took those five extra additional people to ZF, Mercedes, Bros. I don't know if those are the name of all these particular plants or not. And
Yeah,
long as these people have,
S&P,
if the,
Lear,
if these people have their
Delta, hello.
have their ID, they know what zone they supposed to vote for. This is a primary. This is a state primary. So regardless if you live in, this ain't like you voting for a council person for a certain district. This
Mhm.
is a statewide vote. That could be 600 vote. That could be 600 Democrats at Mercedes that need to vote for the Democratic nominees or the Republican nominees, whoever. But why can't we take them or take polls to a particular area at these particular plants to let people vote for these national race, the national race election and the state election.
And it's easy to do.
No, I
It's
mean,
easy to do.
what's
and the question, I guess the question I'm gonna throw out there is, as simple as it is, the idea we came up with, and we have some people that they're supposed to be a whole lot smarter than we are, and they can't come up with this. But they won't take this idea from anybody uh, they believe to be lower than them either. This is an excellent idea. There's a lot of factory jobs and plants here in the city of Tuscaloosa in itself. And around the city of Tuscaloosa, people drive to Tuscaloosa to go to these jobs. We ain't just talking about the other plants, but you got Bill Goodrich, you got Hunt Oil, you got Pfeiffer Water.
So
these are all plants that have a lot of people that work there.
Correct.
And people that travel to get to these plants throughout the whole entire state. So
we're gonna call it workplace voting sites.
That's
okay. Do y'all think that they may be against that because they may think that it implies some type of partisanship or something, which it would not. It's just because I notice most sites are either church or school, church, schools, or community centers. So do you think the employers or the owners would feel some type of way about that? Because it's like one of the best ideas ever. And like Mike said, I know somebody else has had to have thought about this. It's not so much whether they're smart or Mike. It's just some things people just don't want to do, and they'll have reasons for it. And I'm wondering if one of the excuses would be, well, they'll tend to be some type, partisan in some type of way, which they would not. But it honestly, to me, would save money on behalf of the voter and the employer because it's better than making it a holiday.
Right.
And then you're losing the whole day of work.
They used to have people used to vote in the mall.
Exactly. And see, that's what I'm thinking. Those are more like community places and open to the public. So I'm thinking like, well, we're owned by so we're not gonna do this. So that would to me would be kind of like an excuse because it's not like you're leading them one way or the other. You would have the same rules as apply to the polling places. No whatever within so many feet. I mean everything that applies to a regular polling place could apply on most of these campuses as far as these plants. And then a lot of plants are like next door to each other, especially when you have in Mercedes. Look at how many you have. So it's not like you would need, like, some people may say, well, they can't have this machine's at this plant, that's plant. They can all use the same machines in the area. And you got Hunt Oil and BF Goodrich. You can put it in a certain area where both of them can go. So it won't really even require so much. And to me, even if they're gonna say, well, machine and money, well, think of the money you're saving as opposed to people buying for a holiday for it. Because if it's a holiday, then that's kind of like saying everybody's off. That's a whole day of production loss. So no, I'm not making a polling place.
Well, the sad part, Veronica, if that's what we really wanted, and everybody, and we had enough people to actually advocate for it, it would happen.
Right.
But we don't have enough people that actually think voting is important enough to advocate for it.
To push for it, yeah.
But with that being said, too, I think that is part of the problem with a lot of people going to vote is they feel like they don't have time to go and vote. I think that's, and I ain't saying that's everybody. I think that's what a lot of people feel.
But as far as working people, that would eliminate. I'm saying like you want to do because a lot of things we thought about and talked about all these push for a holiday. Like we just mentioned something about the holiday. So if you don't want to do the holiday, but they cost more money. I wouldn't say a holiday costs money. I can see them kind of bucking back on it. But just get the machines out there. Get a certain amount of machines out there. You still got people productive, people still at work. You still got your production going. And people who say they don't have time, do it on your lunch break. And if the machines are out there, they may even give you a little extra time to do it. It's just one day.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. No different than any other poll. It just you got a poll. Yeah. You got a poll person. You don't really need a poll person. You just need a watch person, I guess, to make sure they're putting it in in a box, even at DCH. Just think about how many people don't get to vote from DCH.
Right. Right. I think the money that they would save
to be one of the places I was thinking about too when I said that, because DCH, most of them people get 30 minutes for a lunch break, and I know when I worked out there, you weren't even supposed to leave campus on your lunch break.
Right.
So the money that they save would be well worth the money that they would have to pay out to have people run, working the machines or whatever, poll workers. I think the money would save as opposed to having a holiday when everybody's off, which is great. To me, that's the first idea. But if they want to buck against that, which they will, that's the next best thing. And we talking about money, come on now. It's not like it's partisanship. It's just let everybody vote. So why not help do that, employers, instead of having a whole off day? And some of those people if they gave it an off day, y'all think about it. Some of those people still wouldn't vote. Like Lisa said, sometimes it's a lack of desire to vote. But if you're out there, you're on your campus, you're at work, some people may be encouraged by the fact that, oh, you're gonna go vote. Let me go and vote. Just get them a few minutes off the line or do whatever.
Right.
Even if they know just for an hour or 30 minutes just to get that little few minutes off the line, go ahead and vote.
I was just gonna say that. I think you'll get a lot more people voting actually, because they'll be like, shoot, man, I'm tired. And I'm gonna go vote real quick.
You get that right. And people tend to, if they see other people doing something, people let them know how important this man is. You got some items, ain't you registered? Go on over and vote. But some people, that's my thing, some registered voters aren't voting.
That's
man,
right.
you registered to vote, you got your license with you,
A lot of registered voters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of registered voters that already voted.
So I think overall, as for the whole community, it would be great what they were saying. Get some of the plants. Like I said, out there in Mercedes, there's about 2 or 3 of them right around there together. You don't have to be at each one of those buildings. Put it in a central location where they right there, because that's all that's there. Is those plant buildings, let them all there to go, and give them an extra 30 minutes. So what? It's better than giving them a whole day off.
Sure.
Sound too much like right.
Exactly. Because like Mike was saying, we ain't the only ones that come up with this. Y'all the ones in charge who can do this. I'm sure have y'all not thought of this? And then when people put it to you, get it in action. Get it in action. And see, now we're at the point where they don't want people to vote. So they definitely don't want to hear this. They don't want people to vote right now. With all this chaos going on, the political climate, they definitely don't want us voting right now. So it would be hard to push, but I think it'll be a little bit easier because, I don't know, being off, they may stay here off. Some people may push to get their day off. But my thing with that is, I probably really don't want that because a lot of people who are pushed to be off may be registered, won't go, man, I had so much to do, I'll get that little day off and I ain't go down there and vote.
Mm-hmm. But
so let them go from the line.
In some countries, if you don't vote, if you miss so many elections, you lose your driver's license. There are certain professional licenses that you can't have. So if other countries, if we're supposed to be what? The leader of the free world, if other countries see voting to be that important, why not here?
Well, Lisa, if you want to get into that, there's so many things that we're supposed to be leaders of, and it goes back to that almighty dollar. For example, most of the European nations, they work weekends 32 hours a week. We have people over here, especially here in Alabama, these people are averaging 60 hours or more a week in some of these plants, which goes back to saying, hey, I might not have time to go and vote when it comes time to vote because I'm always up in this plant. 60 hours is a lot of hours a week.
I think more people are more encouraged and they watch each other vote. That's why I really feel like more of you encouraged. They gave you just an extra 30 minutes and watch each other go from the line. Those who aren't encouraged to vote will be encouraged, more likely to do so. Just by seeing their coworkers do it. Some of their coworkers, most of their coworkers are their friends.
And Mike, I think that's the one thing that came out of COVID when we saw the great resignation. I think people realize I spend too much of my time or too much of my life actually working. And so that contributed to a lot of people just saying, I ain't going there.
I think that you're right about that. I think that is the reason why we have some of the problems that we have too, is because we don't have a family unit that we had in the 80s even, 80s and early 90s, most people don't even get a chance to sit down together and eat dinner. Let alone work with their kids on their school work, take them outside and throw the ball with the kids, or teach the kids something that was handed down to them, because they're always at work. They rarely see their kids, and so the family dynamic has completely suffered because of it. That's my opinion, but
I would agree with
I think that's what it is.
I would agree with it. Um, my attitude toward work, whereas I used to be the first person and the last person to leave, I can't do it anymore. So yeah, I totally agree.
When you get to a certain age, or when things happen to you, and you realize that thing's gonna keep on chugging along without you, then you start realizing things. When my eyes went out on me, I basically lived my job. Um, if they called me, I was going, and I don't care if that was 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up, going, seeing what the problem is. Um, and did it many times. And once I realized, hey, them jokers don't really care if I do it or they just want to do it. And you know what I'm saying? When I got down, it was like, oh well, thanks for your service. Next person up. Then and I think that once you get to a certain age and you go through some things, then you start realizing that. But as a young person, so I think a lot of people go in there. I got to work. And get all the money these others gonna give me, and you spend all your time and you lose a lot of time. You spend all your time at work and you lose a lot of time with important people in your life.
And the one thing that I saw that really bothered me was I saw people passing left and right, and I saw employers posting their job before those people were actually in the ground. And that changed my whole outlook. My whole outlook. I'm like, I can do something much more meaningful with my time. Um, and not saying that the whole job's supposed to stop because you pass, but I realized when they said essential personnel, I was not essential personnel because the job kept going even when if I was sick, when I was out sick, the job kept going when I was out. So I think that that changed a lot of people.
I'm in agreement. I am in agreement.
But I think we can work on or inquire about moving around those voting machines. I think that's worth inquiring about.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't even like you got to even change polling places. It's basically, I think that the major thing gonna be with this is adding polling places when they trying to take some of these polling places away. Once again, you got people that's coming up from Hale and Greene County, um, up here to work right now. You got people coming from Aliceville and Gordo and some everywhere come to Tuscaloosa to work at a lot of these factories. Mm-hmm. So there's no way in the world they're gonna make it back to their homes and be able to vote in their polling place. Some of them in the time frame that they're alive. No way. So it just makes too much sense actually to put these places in some of the biggest places around here, i.e., um, Bill Goodrich, who else? Hunt Oil, Fight for Wild,
TCA, VA Hospital,
Mercedes,
VA Hospital.
yes, VA Hospital, DCH, And like you said, Mercedes is a local, because a lot of them people have to go to Mercedes anyway for stuff. So Mercedes is a localized place for a lot of the plants. But I still think you need 2 or 3 machines up there because they got so many plants up there. You got some in Woodstock, some in Vance. So
But they all gonna come during their lunch break. You would need a lot of machines because the sheer number of individuals that work in those plants. If half of them came out to vote, uh, you would need probably about 10 to 15 machines.
but you know what? They don't all know on lunch break at the same time either.
Oh, okay.
But if that's something to
That's why I was saying that lunch breaks and then give them that extra 30 minutes. Save money. What we're fighting for, initially talking about, is a whole day off. Everybody, it's going to have to be quite a few machines. I still think the money or the transporting machines there is worth the money having a little central localized area where it may not be just right on the campus of Mercedes, but somewhere close. Or maybe make it Mercedes because everybody will know, well, let's know it's Mercedes. But give them that 30 minutes. And then that will encourage other people who are working. You may have so many, they just go in slots. They don't have to, it can be a lunch break, but they can go in slots. I think it's still better than having that whole day off. Go in slots because there's no way everybody will be able to do it on a lunch break. You don't want to end up defeating the purpose because it's no way if they only get a lunch break that everybody will be able to vote.
No, absolutely not. Once again, when you take it down to the powers that be and the Brown Trust, it's some way to figure it out. We sitting here figuring it out right now on this program.
True, figuring out what won't work and what will, everything. It's like the more you talk about it, the more it comes to you what won't work and what will work.
The more you talk about it, the more it makes sense.
It do.
Yeah, it's what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. It's easy to do. And it may not be easy to do, but as far as the general concept, it's not so difficult. What's like Mike was saying, what's more difficult? Trying to come from Mercedes on a 30-minute break or a 45-minute break if you get that all the way down to your place, wherever you go, you may live on the west side. You have to go all the way over there to vote. You may have to go to Northport to vote. Just make it statewide, make it okay that people who are at work have the opportunity to vote at the workplace.
Well, some
can't
people
go all the way to Greensboro, Utah, and come all the way back.
You got people that live in Huntsville drive every day to Mercedes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we got people. There's no way in the world they're gonna make it back to the place that they live. Because you got folks that's working at Boeing. You got people that's working at Honda. You got people that's working at Honda. All throughout the whole entire state. So we ain't even just talking about just Tuscaloosa in itself.
Right.
We're talking about statewide.
This is statewide. This is statewide election. So regardless where you live, and you say you in Montgomery, but you live in Tuscaloosa, as long as you got your ID, your name should be on the voter registration.
That's right.
With our state legislatures to pass that, we gotta look at who our state legislatures are. Will she sign it? First of all, will they pass it? Right now, in the climate that we're in, the Republicans will try to fight against it. And that's sad to say, but we gotta think about all aspects of it.
And that's what I'm saying.
And that's we can say, well,
if not be on these places, they would rather for you not to vote because if you vote,
yeah, they don't want you to vote.
They're gonna hold the position. So that's adding polling positions, which means that you giving more people opportunity to vote, and that's not good for them.
Alabama legislature is gonna fight that, sadly, but it makes the most sense.
Well, what they're gonna say is, I can imagine them saying, "Well, it'll lead to more voter fraud."
Exactly.
You know, when we get down to this voter fraud thing, it irks me that it's voter fraud when the people that you don't want to win don't win. But when people you want to win, and we start, when other folks start saying voter fraud, look at the what it was, Gore Bush election. They said that there was voter fraud there. And they ain't going, nope, not winning. Nah, it's not. He just lost. And well, Mike,
look at what's going on today. We have a former president who told somebody else that they pled the fifth. They must have something to hide. They were lying. He pled the fifth over 440 times yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's according to what suits their needs, the majority, or what they feel is the majority. Or with us right now, with the U.S. Senate being so tight, they see the opportunity to make a majority. So whatever it fits their narrative to be beneficial for them, they're going to fight against. Right.
And this is the time. I wish I could. I wish there was a way to get people to understand how crucial it is that you vote right now.
I think a lot of people do.
I think one good example is the fact that Kamala had to break the tie the other day. It was to people to understand stuff like that. What your life, the daily things that go on with you, is just day-to-day living in the United States to boil down to right now a tie being broken by one person. Get out and vote so that make sure we're trying to make this thing so it don't require a tie to make sure you get benefits, a tie to make sure you keep certain rights, a tie to make sure certain legislation is passed.
Well, look what happened with Roe versus Wade. And that's not advocating for abortion, but that's a very slippery slope. And people don't realize that's just the start. That's just the start.
And we've been telling them that since it happened, y'all, we've been talking about that all week. It's not about whether you're against or for. It's about something that's been in place for 50 years. 50 years. Now you have young ladies, they can't get a service that their mothers and grandmothers will afford. And in most places, it don't matter the circumstances. It does not matter the circumstances. And it seems like by the past elections in the past couple of weeks, it's been showing that people are ticked off about it. Because next it'll be affirmative action. It'll be the healthcare act. It'll be healthcare Obamacare.
They said something about them going out the interracial marriages and gay marriages was the next thing that they were discussing.
And I like to see them. I like to see Clarence Thomas sit there looking stupid while they explain it to him, while they're going after the marriage that was just became legal in the 60s, his marriage. Because they was like, oh, they ain't gonna do it. Oh, yes, they will. He's a minority. He's a minority. He's forgotten that he is the minority. He hurts his own group of people, but he's forgotten that he is one of those people. And if they go after interracial marriage, does he really think that they won't because of him? And then once he retires, what are they gonna do? Even if they did afford him that right. Okay, Stephen, we're gonna give you that one. Well, as soon as he retires, they're gonna go after it. Stephen, we're gonna give you that one. As soon as he retires, they're gonna go after it.
Okay, who?
Stephen. we know we held out, you retired, so now we're going after it. And he truly honestly wouldn't care because he and his wife, he probably feel like, well, we're gonna be married anyway. You know, he just feel like he's above reproach when it comes to things. He feel like nothing. He feels like he acts like, I don't say he feels, but I don't know he feels, but his actions show of a black man who's never been a black man.
Or a black man that hates the skin that he's in.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm not for the college of the ruts.
Let me say hello to our good friend Portia Shepherd in the Black Belt. Call in, join this conversation. Portia, I think you're on the ballot also. So call in, let's talk to you. Let's see what you think about voting polls at the workplace. I mean, this could make a big improvement to the voters' numbers. I mean, it's.
And we have got to, y'all, vote because these people are now willing to take everything to the Supreme Court. Whatever it is, because they see what it sits like. They're willing to take anything, any legislation that is passed, just like with Roe v. Wade. Now they're trying to make something else to basically almost kind of reinstate it. But we got to fight to get that majority. And then even when we get that majority, look at the Supreme Court. I feel like they said that there are 3 branches. I feel like the Supreme Court has more power than the executive or the legislature, period. Because they can shoot down anything that they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's not about checks and balances checking each other, because at the end of the day, to me, the Supreme Court has the final say. Because any legislation that the president is for and that passes, then you got these states and other federal officials who are going to sue. They're going to take it to the Supreme Court, who sits off much. Now Roberts can't even help That's why I said they're gonna go after affirmative action. They're gonna go after healthcare. And it took Kamala for them to pass the healthcare act for the veterans that just passed. And so we have got to vote and get this legislation. We've got to get great legislation, and that's every state. But I think a lot of people were upset, and now I get it. When Ruth Ginsburg went step down, they wanted her to step down so they could get somebody in there. Right. But she wouldn't step down. All right. And I feel like I personally feel like she felt that she was still gonna be here, and she was scared to step down. But now, and I know to some degree, trying to make sure that she did have whatever came up that her vote was there. But I don't know, And what Justice what's his name? He went ahead and stepped down, and so now we've gotten Miss Jackson. Yes, and I think personally, I think they thought Hillary was going to win, and it was a political move to have her, first, they in their mind as far as strategically that first female president to appoint someone to the Supreme Court, and they thought that was going to work, and they didn't look at the political climate that people were tired of the Democratic Party, and that's how Trump was able to win. I think the biggest thing is when you talk about voting. And especially here in the state of Alabama, I've been listening to y'all's conversation, but I think in the state of Alabama, even in our state, everybody's looking at, nobody showed up, but the quality of candidates, people don't want to vote for. And until we start addressing that part of things, I think that we're not going to get the turnout. You can have polling place, people can vote while somebody comes to their door. If they don't like the candidate, people are no longer going to continue to put people in office because you've thrown these candidates in their face. And I think Ruth, their thought of, in my personal opinion, the political climate has been so much of the two-party system and the establishment on both parties of how they want things to be. They thought that this was going to be that particular way, and they wasn't expecting what happened because they did not plan, which is why one of my questions was in the comments was, what are the efforts towards some of the things that you guys are talking about? What's happening to combat that? Okay, they knew Roe versus Wade was going to be overturned. This was discussed in the 2016 election. A lot of the efforts that were going towards it, I know people like it was an organization in Alabama. Actually, she did a lot of work on trying to keep this going and keep this in the public eye. And getting out there, she didn't get the financial support to combat it. And then when it happened, especially on our state level, everybody was like, well, how did this happen? Because the people that were doing the work wasn't being supported. So when we talk about why these things are happening, what are we doing on the ground to make sure that these things don't continue to happen into our community? And a lot of the time, the organizations, and especially like here in the Black Belt of Alabama, a lot of our organizations that are on the ground, that are talking to people and doing the work in our community, we don't get the funding. It go to organizations in Tuscaloosa. And we don't even see those individuals, but then yet we're out here doing the work by ourselves because we see that the work needs to be done. And we see this in communities after communities, and a lot of the people are tired, and they're not going to support efforts that they're not seeing the results in. And in my community, I don't know about what happened in TTown, but I know in the Black Belt of Alabama, our roads are horrible in every community, black and white. And we're continually electing the same party and the same type of people. Yet we're looking for the different result, and we do not hold the elected officials accountable. And until we start doing those particular things, of grassroots, going back to what the Black Belt is known for, which is grassroots organizing and getting things done, we're going to continue to see these results throughout our state and throughout our nation until those things are done. And if we want to see change, we got to stop voting the same way and supporting the same style of candidates and expect for them to give us something that they themselves are coming in doing something for the same people that they tell you that they're fighting against. Okay, who is this? What campaign? My name is Portia Shepherd.
Portia Shepherd.
Oh, I'm running for. I mentioned I couldn't announce it. No, she's about to announce herself. She's about to announce herself. I'm sorry, Miss Shepherd. What did you say? Oh, I'm running for Alabama State Senate District 23. Okay. You see, what we need is people like you, because everything that you mentioned, we talk about that on this show. I don't know if you watch every week. Yeah, we talk about it, vetting. That's what we're doing, vetting, because as our local elections and state elections and federal elections have showed us, we gotta vet. Like you said, we gotta vet grassroots. We always talk about, me and Lisa talk about how we hit the ground running. We've got to get more people encouraged and excited about it, because like you said, if they're not encouraged and excited, they're not gonna do it. So you have to vet people. It can't be no, oh, that's my homie, that's my friend, that's my brother, that's my family. We got to get away from that. These local elections have shown us that state elections have shown us. State elections have always shown us this the good old boy way, not pay my blood. And we got some people who look like us who really think they're part of the good old boy system. And as long as I got a drink and go sit down and sit and just get a pound of back, they all good and they don't care about angering their constituents. They truly do not care. So we got to vet. Like you said, we talk about that. Vetting will get people excited. Because once you start to vet, you put better candidates up to run, and candidates who will be able to work together, whether they agree on everything or not. Right. And who won't be swayed by puppet massateers who lead their city, who lead their state, and will vote according to what's right for their people. Then you'll get people more excited to vote. You'll get more people saying, bring those machines out here so we can vote. We don't have to leave work. It's exactly what you said. We talk about it all the time, and it's that grassroots effort. It's worked. It didn't just work for Obama. It worked years ago. Obama threw it back out there and put it back in the spotlight. Like, we can do this, even without as much money. Like you said, sometimes where is the money going? I read an article the other day that says that Alabama still has had $88 million left over for folks who can't afford to pay their rent. But they make it so hard for them to get the money. Some people just they get tired of the process of getting it, or they get tired of you gotta take it to your landlord, let your landlord feel this and this and that. The landlord take their time about it. Well, we're gonna give the landlord 2 months to see if they'll do it. Even though the landlord's not getting any money, they don't want to feel like they're helping somebody. So it's not like we have to have people in charge of running our cities and our states who are gonna enforce the laws that are in place. Sometimes there are laws in place that aren't even being enforced. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up when you talk about organizations not doing it. We have an organization here in the city of Uniontown. You know, when you talk about homelessness, most people, say rural Alabama, we don't see it on the scale like we see in Tuscaloosa and Birmingham because they go stay with a family member, or a friend or something like that. But it's still homelessness, and it's the population here. Do you not know they pulled this young lady? I'm not gonna call her, so I don't want to get her in trouble. But they pulled her funding because she was proving them wrong. They had pulled this narrative that we don't need, there's not a big need. How can you say that it is not a need in the community? You don't know this community because you're not there. Why not put the support behind individuals who are doing the work? She is giving you the results. And you're getting mad and punching her for proving what you have told these other people that have given you money that wasn't a need. It's the craziest stuff. And I get so frustrated when you talk and you make great points. The good old boy system is not just for white folks. It's for black people. And one thing I think we can start studying as a community, black elitism. It exists. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And they're not even elite. Half of them not even elite that think they are. They're not even elite that think they are. But they get that power and they kick, and then they all eat. But they all against us. And not just us, poor white people. Like you said, it's all races. Stuff like homelessness and not being able to afford things, it affects all races. And pride affects all races. We're one of the most prideful people. So if you got to sit there and take your landlord this, and your landlord knows your situation, you would think a landlord would be eager to get it because it's money. But at the same time, you have people who they just don't know how people are going to act. Are you going to feel this out there? It's no reason for them to still have $88 million for those who they pushed it a little bit in Tuscaloosa, and I guess people, like I said, they pride, they don't want folks in their business. Because sometimes it's the way you need to work things out. Because sometimes sometimes you just have to not care what people think. Because the way they got it set up, they're gonna make it hard for you to get it. And even if it's not hard for you to get it, folks gonna sit there and talk. But don't worry about what people say no more. Like my mom used to say, they ain't what you eat don't make them and what they eat don't make you and they ain't paying your bills while they sit there and laughing at it. They're not gonna give you nothing while they're talking about it. They're not gonna give you nothing. Right. They asking something themselves at some point. I don't know anybody who has not ever had a need. That brings me to my you remember when the applications for Section 8 opened up and you had those people standing in line, you actually had people going out there videotaping them standing in line trying to get assistance. And I'm like, what's the purpose of that? Right. Right. And then talking about it, like talking about it. If you don't talk about it, be about it. Talk about it and offer some assistance for it. Offer a solution for it. Why is this line this long? Don't sit there and record it to come back and put it on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram and talk about. And they was out here acting like this. You talk about how they act. You talk. Of course, people get angry, upset, and agitated. You got some people who don't like each other in town, run into each other, they're hiding about it, and babies crying and all this kind of stuff, and they holding babies, they getting agitated, and people laughing, people recording. It's just not. It's just not conducive to positivity.
Right. I agree 100,000%. And I think a lot of times we forget certain things as well as a community. And to me sometimes I feel like we're a very forgiving people. You talk about prideful, but we also are forgiving people in certain instances. And that also gets us back in those same situations to where we don't come out of it. And in my community, especially in the black belt, it frustrates me so much. I be getting so mad. Because I'm like, come on, guys, wake up. And in the 2020 election, we saw that throughout the black belt. There's a lot of what I call old school regimes that got unseated. And a lot of people that have been in power in our area have got unseated. And these new elected officials are coming in and doing what's right. But then they're stuff because they got to clean up years of foolishness. And the people want immediate results, but they got to understand, in order for you to see the result that you desire, you got to get things in place. Like here in Uniontown, from 2008, listen to me, from 2018 all the way up to 2018, there's no financial record for a city. What? I'm telling you what I know. This ain't what I know. The USDA project manager for the wastewater part, I'm not going to get in there tonight, but he made that statement at a town hall meeting, and our crowd was like, we've always, people already suspected it, but it was like, whoa. And so in order for them to even get certain, and the crossfire stuff, they got to find stuff and put together, like the last 2 years, the RT City Council had to keep new records so they can have something to go back to compare on what possibly could have been in order for them to even qualify for road grants to fix some of these roads. No order, no structure. This not a white Republican doing this. These are black people. And you blame other people for you not doing to cover up what you haven't done for your own community. And we see time and time again that this is happening community after community, even in predominantly white areas. You will see it there. Up in North Alabama, you're looking at DeKalb County. It's a town called Geraldine, Alabama. This is a town of 900 folks with 2 grocery stores. That's leadership. But you keep on going, and after you pass Rainville, you start going to places like Sylvania and Henniger and Ida. You begin to see the difference in the leadership based on the quality of the town. And so when you see this in these areas, you know that leadership, no matter the race, no matter the party, is an issue or area. And until we all start holding accountable, making them be transparent, we're going to continue to see what we have seen. And I am tired of looking at it. I'm tired of just fussing about it. I'm tired of just talking about it. I want to be a part of the solution. And being part of the solution is connected to anyone that can help you reach your goal. And that's what our leaders got to start doing. Put your differences aside, even within your own community. When I move back home in my childhood home, the first thing people don't talk to me. How can you get anything done if you're not talking to the same people that get up in church that talk about all things work together? All things work together for the good and the love. But we got to come up with what we love. Do we love this city? Then everything that's working together, all parts, both good and bad, is for a common goal, and that's to move this city forward in your way, all bodies. I think that was the scripture of the day on Holy Bible. Is that all parts of the body have to work together in order for something to move. And so you got to include people, even the ones you don't like, because they have a piece of what it is that you're trying to do. And that's the only difference that I see in communities that are thriving versus areas that are not thriving, is that even if they don't get along, they have a common good, and therefore their community to look good and be of service to the people that live there. And until we start doing it collectively, gonna be problem. And I'm tired of talking about problem. I'm ready to work on the solution. Not talk about the solution, but work toward the solution. But we cannot do that if we continue to let the same type of problem.
Well, that's one reason Huntsville is prospering. Yeah, it doesn't matter who the leader, and they have what they doesn't matter if it's a Republican, it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat. When you all working for the better good of the people, then things will work together for the best. When you're all working together, and then like you said, you do have to give people time, and we do. We know that, but then it gets frustrating. Like you said, there's another one of those things that frustrates people when you're giving them time, and then they really know they're not getting it done, and they start to get smart with the community. They get a smart mouth with the community because they're in the seat in. Oh well, I don't think that label the community troublemakers, label you minions, label you things like that. And like you said, we do have to give them time. But then when you get so tired, you can't stand the pressure of the job. Don't take the job, because then it's all of a sudden you get these smart attitudes, these arrogant attitudes, and these smart mouths from people who haven't really truly shown you that they can be a politician. And they don't. They be telling you don't need a politician, you don't need a politician. No, you don't need a politician, but you do have to need somebody who's gonna be political thinking, but also think for their people too. If you can't be political in your actions and the way you maneuver and do things, and also incorporate that into your being as a citizen as well, then you don't need to have a political seat. Because you're not just a politician, you're still a member of the community as well. But when they can't, when the kitchen starts to get hot, real hot, then they want to get, oh, well, I'm in the seat now. They say whatever they want to say to you. And then it leaves those who really truly are working, like you said, working from behind. You can't get something because you don't have a record or something, so now you got to work extra hard. Then you only have one or two doing that, and then it's like they're working from behind, and then the voters are discouraged.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. I can't even say anything here, but I agree. I say this stuff all the time. And I know the Texas Kennedy all the time on his show. He's repeating that narrative as well. We tired. We tired. And then you get rid of people that are actually working on your behalf. Because you think it is something, and then you elect someone and you're not seeing, they should be doing it. They come to me. I always ask somebody before they run for office, did you go to the incumbent before you ran for office and ask them for what you're running for? Or did you just want to run because it sounds good or it looks good? If you went to that individual and you gave them an opportunity to do it and they did not do it, then I can see why you run. But everything else, please, it is not that serious. And a lot of times it's for their a connection or two that they want to see. Not exactly. For things that they have going on that they want to continue to prosper, or they want to get to prosper, for their own personal businesses or their own personal gain. Well, this leads to one thing that I can say that has been very disappointing to me with our present council is we did a public records request for their emails. You have a group of constituents that were truly concerned about an issue, so they went to the council. We went to the council continuously to advocate for it and to read those emails the way they mocked us and what they call us minions. All of them need to be somebody needs to be doing the seat. We've been vetting. To me, it's so disheartening because it's almost like, and now they use official city email for this. Right. They use official city email, and I'm still trying to figure out what's the problem with your constituents coming and voicing their concerns. So they act like anarchy. What? It's Tuscaloosa. It's Tuscaloosa. Why? Yeah, it's Tuscaloosa. Because they act as if it's an anarchy. They don't want to know what their constituents or what their peers, what their co-workers, what their family members. Oh, the family members, they too deluded by, oh, that's so-and-so in that seat. Look at them. No, look at them and look at what they're doing and look at what they're allowed to be done. It's just like when people complain about police. You say, well, if there is a good cop, he's not a good cop if he's allowing bad to happen. Or if you are a city council official, you're not a good city council official if you're allowing bad things to happen. You can be vocal. You have a job now because the impression that you give us as citizens is that, oh, it's mine now. You start to give a smart mouth. Well, give your coworkers that same attitude.
That's your seat right now. They might not like you, but that's your seat, and the people put you in that seat, and it's the same people that's gonna have to put you in there again. No matter how much your coworker dislike you. At least if you put that out there and let us know what you're about, then we know we're gonna keep putting him in there. We just gotta get the other tools around him out of there and get the right people in. You can't keep saying, "Oh, you trying to do this, you trying to do that," but then every time the seat gets hot, you want to get mad at the people who are asking, the people who are questioning, and then they put this in public record. These are public records because they didn't think. I guess the people are smart enough, or that people care enough to look at them, and some of them probably just don't care, right? Because they said some smart mouth things in the tape. They didn't want to get law enforcement there. Nobody coming there to do nobody no harm. We coming there for y'all to do what y'all supposed to do. Y'all doing us harm. What we pay them to do. Exactly. Y'all doing the community harm. Then if you don't, if you're in the minority, you don't speak up. Or if you do speak up, it's because it's to look good for a minute, because at the end of the day, the bottom line is it ain't gonna go the right way anyway. Right. Or you got somebody speaking up who don't know what is she talking about and speaking up for people who manipulate it. It's an anarchy. Why have a city council if you're gonna do what one person wants you to do? No, they're just a Steven little I mean, just lie. I talk to my constituents. You got constituents out of your district sitting right here in the chamber today saying you won't even answer the phone, and we're trying to phone call. So what constituents are you talking to? And constituent does not mean your support. Right. Does not mean your supporters, your family and friends. Right. That's not your constituent. And when you have what I don't understand about politics is when you have if you have a group of citizens with an issue and they come to you with an issue and you've been in office, I agree. When you get in a leadership position, you see things differently. When you get in there, because it's different avenues, different parts of the press. You just gonna have to learn what that is and articulate that to your constituents and come up with a plan that can keep things together. Like if you got to make a decision on whether or not you want to bring a business to a community, and you got a group of citizens that's saying, "I don't want this business in my neighborhood." And why they don't want, if I was a person that's in office, I'm gonna research and find out, not just bring what they do, but do research on my own and talk to people and bring all parties together. The people that wanted to come and the people who don't want to come. And let's work up and from that, I would then make the decision on whether or not to break. That's leadership. Leadership is going above and beyond and confronting those people that have a different opinion or a different outlook than what you do. Because life is all about perspective. And you may see things, and my sister can see negative in people way better than I can. She has that spirit of discernment that is far greater. And I have that the grace part of things is what my family says. And she can point people out, and I try to give them a chance, and then they end up being exactly who she said. Exactly how she said. And so I can't say anything because she has a different perspective and a different outlook on things than I do. And that's my problem with a lot of our leaders, and especially in my community, is that when someone presents them with evidence and issues, but because they already know they got their hand in the cookie jar most of the time, and or they get game tickets or something like that, they want to keep that connection for themselves. And so the result of it is we end up looking stupid, or we end up dealing with the decision because they want to, like you said earlier, they want to get that pat on the back and that handshake and to say, I was sat in this room when that has absolutely nothing to do with your community. And yet, when you leave those places and you shake those hands, you driving back over the same potholes that I am. That's my problem with it. And I definitely agree with that. I didn't know Tuscaloosa was dealing with that type of stuff as well. A lot. To them, it's nothing. To them, it's nothing because they feel like they do what they want to do, and they just the troublemakers. To them, it's nothing. And my thing is, if you listen to a city council, if you don't know anything, you're gonna talk amongst your peers. but some of them may have more experience. But you were elected to serve the people, so you bring everything to the people. You still bring it to the people. Don't come bring me nothing that somebody told you that, and it's especially when it's not for the best interest of that particular community. Right. Listen to the people. The people live in, like you said, they got to drive over those same potholes. So you should be listening to people, the neighbors whose houses you are passing as you drive those potholes. Yes, you're going to listen to your peers and your co-workers, and it's because y'all got to work together to come to a solution. But a part of that solution is your community and their input, how they feel about things. I know what they need, what they need to drive a better community. When we were discussing redistricting, they came up with I don't even know how to explain the excuse that this Howard sat there and read off. It was so baffling. If you ever heard a speech and it was so horrible, you can't remember what the speech was about. I can't even remember some of the things that she said. But what I thought was real interesting was there was another district that felt like, hey, we're two historic districts. We should be together. Nobody looked at or never quoted them some of the BS that they quoted the other constituents, which they didn't even look to see if it was going to create certain dynamic. They just said, okay, y'all want to be together. That makes sense. Okay, let them be together. Y'all go ahead on and put them together. Mm-hmm. And then you had some of them say, but hey, these people are asking for their lines to be drawn a certain way. What's the problem? Exactly. And they didn't even listen to them. So it's not even like you're listening to your constituents or you're serving in the capacity of checks and balances. You just there act like you work for the city. And that was what's so crazy about it. The districts that got what they wanted, they were our cheerleaders for us to get what we wanted. But those powers that be, it was an issue. We would end up being back down to two minority city council people, which made absolutely no sense at all. People are going to vote at any given day. In this particular situation, it was not going to end up being what she said at all. And the person over her spewed that mess, got it together for her when she decided to finally make an appearance to vote us down, to vote for the worst for the community. Mm-hmm. She made that appearance and read off that same statement. By that time, she should have memorized it. It was really insulting to the intelligence. But looking back, hindsight, she was very insulting and she meant to be. She meant to be insulting. Yeah, because she was one of those who thinks she's the elite that she spoke about. She thinks she's the elite. But she don't even know her last name. That was me. You don't even know her last name yet. You sworn in on you were sworn in into office under a fictitious name. That's not your last name. But you telling us you know what's best for us your last name. But when they get finished using her and they throw her to the side, or when she can't be used anymore, then we'll see what that looks like. Or when she finally takes a stand, but I don't think she can do that. I don't think she wants to do it. And they can talk about it ain't no money. It ain't no money. We only get paid this. Tell me somebody yet during the pandemic that don't want no money. Tell me somebody yet. I don't care if you're a millionaire, you're not refusing no extra stream income. I don't care who you are.
Don't they make $30,000 a year?
But act like it's not a lot of money. But I bet you they don't donate it. I bet it's not donated.
It's people that make $30,000 a year and happy with it.
Yes, that's all they make.
And I know I'm probably telling my age, but when I came out of high school, to make $30,000, I'd have been a happy joker.
Okay. With that $4.25, what was it for $3.25?
It was $4.25 when I came out. Minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was $3 something when I was out. We was in there, had got it up to like three something because my job gave me a little bit more and they had me at $3.95. And I was like, well, oh well. At least there was a few because everything was what $3.85 or something like that. We said it was like $3.95, and I was like, back then you were glad to say you were making more than minimum wage. You just didn't know, even though you were young. It wasn't much more, but at least you could say they gave you a few more pennies.
Mm-hmm. But to have council people that truly do not care about the voice of their constituency, to me it's so it's so backwoods.
We've gone from what a building in the yard of the Houston to what a space. Maybe it'll be a room. That's what the wild will be.
But hold on, I asked her.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that there's gonna be a freestanding? There's gonna be a freestanding building, and she said that there's this flat footed looking you in your face, and I'm like, you lying. So it turned into one of those situations where I felt like if I said, she was saying, if I said enough, maybe they'll start to believe me.
Yeah, that's how they are. That's how bad politicians are. I give you an honest one, and an honest one mean I mean everybody can't. We're human beings. Nobody can be absolutely honest. Here, sometimes they don't always know. But if you're gonna be honest, and when you don't know, say you don't know, but don't feed me no bull crap. Say then that's one reason you're supposed to take it. That's one reason you're supposed to take it to the community because the community offers so many resources, education, knowledge, people who are into that stuff that your buddy sitting next to you halfway don't know. He just trying to make sure he get what he wants. Forget what your poor side of town need, forget what they need, but he making sure his roads and got work going on and people doing this landscape and all kind of stuff and other type of funds for different services for people. They getting theirs. They shift the money around, but then they telling us money needs to be used before it's lost. No, then. Once the money is earmarked, why does it need to be used before it's lost? So what you earmark us our money, everybody else sees it for a certain amount of time. Everybody else sees to get money when they want to, and then if it's not available, they shift it from somewhere else.
Child, ain't nobody got no money. The money that it was funny because there was one district that was slighted to get a new fire station. Mm-hmm. And somehow the new fire station got switched to another district. So you lost that money that was already appropriated and voted on for your district. Mm-hmm. You voted to reappropriate it to another district. That's crazy to me.
The integrity is lacking. The integrity is greatly lacking.
And then doing it with a smirk like you're doing something. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. And like you say, if you don't know, I have so much respect for the person that can say, man, I don't know. Can y'all help me?
Right. Because guess what? Those your co-workers, y'all each have a district. Their first interest is them and their district. You sit up there listening to what they say, go to your constituents in your district. We have knowledgeable educators, doctors, teachers, lawyers who are willing to help, but no, they'd rather scurry back to the big house and listen to what they say and make what he say make sense.
And then what he ask? I'm gonna ask a professor. Have you ever worked? What he asked me?
Have you ever been a police officer or something?
Have you ever been a police officer? And I'm looking like, so you don't even know what this person do?
Right. And you've been one, but there's not a stellar report on you being one.
Oh no, he don't want that report out there. But this person has sent you numerous emails. You didn't even bother to even look the person up. So that tells me you totally discounted the email. When you sit there and ask somebody that's a professor at at the University of Alabama, that's easy to verify. Mm-hmm. Have you ever worked as a police officer?
Right. That's your educated question. That's your logical question. That was considered logic for him. And then to say it with an attitude. But who would expect more? That's the same one that hollers Black Power. That's the one that sits there and lies on the lady to her face and say the lady said she wanted Black Power, and the lady sitting right there and the conversation's over her, and we know that she didn't say it.
Well,
these are the type of people who are representing people.
Well, that's the same one that sits up and talks about crime and people hanging out places, but then at local businesses, and then tell everybody, come on down to the Jacks if you want to talk to your council person. Is that not local?
Girl, when he said that the first time, and then when he continued to say it consistently, I was like, this dude, oh my goodness.
But that's loitering. That's a
exactly it is. Jacks ain't told nobody they can have no. What if everybody? What if the whole district decides, okay, y'all, we gonna head over to Jacks?
And I started to orchestrate it.
Okay.
I started.
This is not Mayberry. No, to come over to the Jacks. Like, dude, where are you? This is not Mayberry. It's not Los Angeles. But it's not Mayberry.
Having a true town hall meeting or exactly. Your constituents somewhere. You want to do it in a place where you know they ain't gonna be able to hold your time.
Mm-hmm. And who has done that? Who has truly done that? District 1 has done some. Who has truly done it? District 1, as far as I can remember. But all the stuff when redistricting died down after they had to go back. Look, they went back to try to do it the right way, only to come to the same outcome, just to put it on paper somewhere that they did it after the people had to make them do it. And then that's the only district that I ever see to have a community meeting. I mean, y'all can you not open up the pair? Can you not go somewhere to one of these pair facilities once a month? And then what about the flyers or the newsletters and stuff? And I'm not talking about in there coming in no water bill.
I'm so sick of that.
Like if y'all knew y'all were busy, then y'all made some of the very first mistakes. Straight up lying. We used to politicians lying. But they say we need somebody who ain't a politician, but then they come in lying.
If you too busy to meet with your constituents, you should not be running for office.
You shouldn't be running for office. It's the complacency. For me, that came so early. And then after the complacency, the smart mouth. The smart mouths, smart statements being made. I know you get frustrated. We all are human. We all fall short. We get frustrated, but there are certain things you ain't frustrated. Certain things you getting off your chest because you're mad. Because you're expected to perform. And we know that everybody is 7 council people and they all have to work together and there's a mayor. We're not districts are not gonna we're not gonna always get what we want. But it's really, really creepy and crappy when it's only about 2 districts, 3 that never get what they want. And which districts are those? The same 3 minority districts. Yeah. The same 3. 3 of y'all are minorities, but you can fight. Your voice can be louder than what it is. But it's like they sit there, and once they told no from the upper parties that be, and they're really not upper parties that be, they're their fellow council people. Once they're told no, they don't, and we be having that, we be having it out. They ask them how much they having it out. Okay, well, when some of these things are done, why aren't you more vocal even in the chamber when this stuff is going on? We all understand majority rules. But y'all so easily fall. It's the votes for me. Because even when majority rules, why does your vote go with the majority? Mm-hmm. Because if majority rules, you stand in your vote, it's going to be what it's going to be. But when majority rules, why, we can count the times when you still stand in your vote. Keep standing on what's right, at least for the majority of the time. And you don't have to worry about nobody vetting candidates to run against you. We can vet candidates to run against the majority. Because the majority is not for those 3 seats. The majority is not for those 3 seats. And sometimes it doesn't, the decisions that they make won't even impact their district at all. But when it's a good decision for one of those 3 seats, it's always no.
And that's an issue for me because you'll sit up and give other districts everything they want, but when your constituents want something and they vote against you, what gives you the right to vote against something that the people in the district want?
Exactly. Exactly. My thing is, if you're the more minority, if all three say yes to whatever it is, or all three say no, of course, it's not going to go that way. But what about that day when one person might be absent? All three say, and then you can look at your puppet master to see how he really truly feels, which we all know. But have you noticed that every time it's time for a vote, they're not absent? Even the one who was absent half of the time came when it was time to shut the people down.
Say show right up. Sure did.
Whereas there any other time, and they don't care. Because it's just like the same reason they don't want you to vote. They don't care if she's there or not. Because in the end, plus they don't have to care because they know whatever she says, yes or no, it's gonna be.
And what you say, Veronica? Yes or no?
Yes or no, so what'd you say?
Yes or no?
Jump 10 feet high enough. And that's the kind of stuff that has you passionate and frustrated. That's why I keep forgetting her name. What? So I know she's still there. What's her name again?
Which one?
That's that called in.
Shep.
From who was just talking with us?
Miss Shepard. Portia Shepard.
Portia.
See,
If everybody had, that's why I was glad as heck when she called in and fired up. That's what we do when we out vetting people. Be fired up. Tell them exactly what they're doing and what they're not doing. And honestly, I see a lot of rural areas. Like she was surprised to know what be going on in Tuscaloosa. A lot of times I see them get together down there better than they do up here. A lot of times. Even though things may not be just right down there, when it comes to trying to get certain things done for their community, those representatives and those council people down there fight.
but I love it when she said, you'll go and you'll hee hee ha ha, but you got to drive home on them same messed up roads.
Right.
So stuff like that. You wonder like, so now that you done got to the table, what you basically say what? Just forget everybody else.
Right. And what did Shirley Chisholm say? If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a chair. Well, y'all at the table and they ain't even doing nothing. Let some folks come in with some chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Or get up from their table and go set your own.
Exactly. Exactly. And see, that's the sad part about it, y'all. We've been talking about people like, look at how fired up she was. Now I see 4 people watching the chat. It's just like when we were talking about monkeypox. We got to let people be informed. That's our people's worst problem. Lack of information, lack of education, lack of knowledge. And the knowledge be free a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But we had called and talking about somebody whose wife was caught over there with the so and so and so and so so and so who worked for the so and so so and so so and so, and talking about how they showed out. It would have been 40 folks in Facebook in the chat.
They there for that.
Yeah.
But Veronica, I know because I've been knowing you. I know that you don't mind giving your time. You will always show up. It's sad that the majority of us, and when I say us, I'm talking about blacks, we only show up when something directly impacts us. It's sad if I say we're going to this event. I already know who's gonna be there because it's the same faces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When somebody new come in, we all get excited, but it's the same people doing the majority of the work. And then, but you have people that think that what she calling the black elite.
Mm-hmm.
They have the people that they call the black elite that will sit up with other people and literally label you, somebody that's trying to do the work, a troublemaker.
Exactly.
A loudmouth. Somebody that's divisive.
And some of our black elite only show up to certain events. If it ain't drawing enough faces that they can impress and want to shake their hand because they might not be like from the area or something like that, they're only showing up to certain events.
Or they show up and leave.
Exactly.
They show up and leave.
Show up the hour in and leave.
After the camera done start rolling, they leave.
Mm-hmm.
And what's sad about it is these are the people that know that the young people are watching them.
Mm-hmm.
The young people say, when you mention, oh, go talk to stores, a man, don't nobody want food with them. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, why would you say they don't care? Because they don't care. They only there for this, this, and this. Okay, if the young people can pick up on it, you ain't fooling nobody.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then when you do show up for the young people, like the Friday night lights, I like a lot of local leaders came out there. Show up because some people's kids are their passion. But at the same time, when you're elected officials or when you're in positions of authority, you show up for that, but you allow them to see you show up for the other important stuff too that directly affects the community as a whole. Don't just show up when it's time to have fun. Show up when it's time to put in the work for the community.
And that's what I mean. When it's time to do work, when you got to get out there, you're going to get sweaty. You know it ain't going to be fun. It's the same people that show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can show up inside where some air and y'all can take pictures and this, that, and the other. Because some of those same ones was the same ones we talked about. Oh, they was going to do this, they was going to do it because they was getting their feet wet and they was figuring out what it was. They've been in the position for a little while now. Some, a couple of terms. Some still fresh, new freshmen. Should have had orientation. But that's the sad part. No orientation. Because some of them are freshmen, some of them are sophomores, maybe even juniors. They show up to the fun stuff if it's on the air conditioner, all this kind of stuff. Take pictures. But then what about the grassroots stuff? What about getting the community excited? What about the means in the park? What about vetting? Vetting instead of saying, oh, well, they in there now, we like them. Would you like the emails? Because the first time you speak up about them, guess what? You become one of the means in the email.
I'm going to put them up on Facebook when I get time to do the screenshots of excerpts. Because I think people need to know how your elected officials sit up and ridicule constituents. That's crazy to me.
And it's public record, so it's no wrong in doing it. It's public record that you have had to be paid for. Unreal. That part was unreal.
Yeah.
So we got to pay. We got to pay. See how bad y'all talk about the community.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
And I guess that's why they feel so comfortable in doing it.
Because they figured we weren't going to get it.
Mm-hmm. And it needs to be addressed. Why does this happen? Why is this talk? It ain't like they're going to go to jail, but it needs to be talked about, and the community needs to know. That's why they need to see it. The community needs to know what they say. What's wrong with coming to a council meeting asking why are we being addressed like this? So do y'all truly work for what's the best interest of us, or is it just the best interest of yourself?
Or do they feel like you ain't supposed to come up there and ask no questions at all?
Exactly. Because you've already shown that by having the doors locked right up to the University Boulevard entrance.
Which there is no excuse for at this present time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse for those doors to continue to be locked, other than to keep the constituents out. Because you got some elderly people that would like to come to city council and address some things, but they're not gonna. They can't do. I'm asthmatic. I cannot. By the time I walk around now, I have to pull my inhaler out.
And the funny thing about it. And the funny thing about it, Lisa, if anyone of them want to go through that entrance, they probably, I'm sure they can. They have keys. Mm-hmm. They can. They can. And I wish they had the attitude. I don't know if this is the attitude of everybody at the county courthouse, but one day, me and my kids, we were at the county courthouse. There was something going on, and the side doors was open, and so we were like, "Well, can we go in?" He's like, "This is y'all's courthouse." This man walked out. Caucasian male, like I say, I was shocked as crap. That's why you cannot stereotype people. They're still good people. Like this is our courthouse. So if that's our county courthouse, the community, the people's county courthouse, is that not our city hall? Do we not need to have is it not okay for us to have an interest? Is it our city hall or is that not our city hall? It's just our county courthouse.
Well, I think everything, man. When I see that, I said, I'm in the police department. This is my police department. And I'm in the police. Look at police car. That's my police car.
But you know what? They truly feel like, no, this is the city of Tuscaloosa. Well, who is the city of Tuscaloosa? Who comprises the city of Tuscaloosa?
Even federal money. That took her down from what? It took her up and come back down.
Mm-hmm. And I heard somebody else on the courthouse. Now, this is your courthouse. Now, you just can't come up in here and just act like you want to do it at your own house. But,
yeah, I'm not
locally, this is
on the table.
Exactly. But this is your courthouse. This is where you come to do your business. You want to get married, you come get a license up out here. When they was requiring licenses, I don't even know how to do that now. They don't require license no more. If you want to, you got to go to probate court. You got to go to some. You go and come file for papers or something. You want to file for custody. You want to do the child support. This is y'all's courthouse. So he wasn't the only person that said this is y'all's county courthouse. So why does it not feel like the city is though? And I never really thought about it until he said it. And once he said it, it felt like it. Of course, you might run into somebody who's a butthole and may say, "Oh, we're locking the door with her closed or whatever." But enough people have said this is y'all's county courthouse. Why? I've never heard anybody say, and I never seen anybody make people feel like the city hall was theirs. The citizens.
I agree.
We have certain meetings at the county courthouse and annex. Are there public meetings in the city hall? Is there anywhere where you have public meetings in the city hall that the city hall isn't directly involved in it? Can we, as an organization, or so a local organization, go somewhere and have a meeting at the city hall? Any
tomorrow.
Local organization, because we can't at the courthouse annex.
I'm gonna find out tomorrow.
See what I'm saying? It's like I would think it's supposed to be ours, shared amongst the community, and we can't even get in the front door. You gotta go through the back door, through the tunnel, and come up through a maze. Distracting people from wanting to come. The want is still there, but sometimes people just they can't do that. And then when they do it that one time, it's hard to get them to come back and do it again and again or the next time.
Well, y'all know what time it is.
Yep. It got to that time. Great.
But Lisa still up at 10:13, and Darryl, he took the spot. He's still up.
I'm up today. I'm up today. Last week I had to pull. At least I pulled one of your numbers last week.
I know. We talked about you too.
That's right. I was tired.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Who was the worst? Lisa, when we heard her snoring, Darryl, when we just didn't hear nothing at all. Just complete abandonment, y'all.
They'll be sleeping with it.
I believe Darryl literally set the phone down and just saying like, I'm gonna go to bed.
He'll take his stuff off the screen, boy, and I'll be sitting there like, hey, what's that? And then once in a while I say, hey, that right there? I see we still on there.
I don't think Darryl I did this because he was like, forget the snore, I'm going to bed.
He went to bed, like, man, I'm gonna go. He ain't even say good night.
No.
We just had to get off the show. I was like, let's see y'all on Tuesday. Y'all have a good night. I said, I hope you wake up and turn everything off.
I did. Man, I said, "Ooh, I didn't even realize what time it was." But yeah,
that was fun. I was like, at least give us a warning.
I ain't getting no warning.
So my body say it's time for us to go to bed.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Y'all, Lisa be up with the chickens. Lisa, I think you get up before the chickens.
About 4:30, I be sitting up straight up in the bed, like, woo, thank you, Jesus. And then that's when I start texting. So he's like, what is you texting me for this early? I'm like, you know you up.
I don't text nobody that early, but I be up like that sometimes.
Look, that green light be on Facebook.
You might see mine
I
on.
think mine stay on.
I been say I hope you don't see mine, because if it is, I ain't on it. But yeah, great.
Nah,
great
I do my best. I get up early. You know, when we were young, we had chickens. So I was up with the chickens and down with you. When the sun go down, I'm out. So, but I will talk to you guys. What, next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday.
Hopefully see y'all tomorrow at the Friday Night Live.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop in.
Is that in Hayes Court this time?
I don't have a way to get there, so I won't be there. But
well, Mike, you excuse.
I appreciate
But it's Hayport, the Hayport Center.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We still looking for people for the youth alliance though. Which I should have talked to Mr. Eatman there when he was on the line. We plan on having our first meeting on the 27th at the Gateway. So that's it. Now for the young adults that want to come in and want to discuss the things that's going on in the community, and they got any suggestions or they have any where they want to contribute to making the community better for everybody.
August 27th, what time? 6?
Actually, I gotta get the information from Mello again, but I forgot exactly. I think it's gonna be that's a Saturday. That's 27th. I think it's gonna be around noon.
Okay.
But I gotta make sure.
Well, all right, guys.
All right,
All
y'all.
right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Y'all stay safe and be blessed.
Mike, he put his number up there. You can call him 5340941.
Okay, yeah, I think I still got it in my phone too. So
okay.
All right.
All right, y'all. Y'all have
be safe.
We'll
all
see.
Right. Good night, y'all.
All right.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.